The Galaxy Council chamber hung suspended within the void, a cathedral of light and silence orbiting a dead star. Representatives of 100 species sat around its curved arena, speaking in layered tones that wove through translators and echoed through the chamber's crystalline acoustics. At the heart of the meeting hovered the holographic seal of the Terran Directorate, still flickering from centuries past. The council had gathered to decide one thing: whether to finally lift the ancient ban that had isolated the human species from the rest of the galaxy. Humans remain unpredictable, said Counselor Tarn of the Velsari, a tall silver being whose body shimmered like molten metal. Their wars nearly consumed their homeworld. They advanced faster than logic dictated. Their technology leapt centuries and decades. It was chaos disguised as progress. Across the table, the Thalran delegate, an enormous insectoid with translucent wings, clicked in disdain. The Council's fear is outdated. Humanity has been quiet for over 300 cycles. No signals, no ships, no expansion. They are finished. No, said another, voice low but steady. It was Counselor Reen of the Valtori. They are silent because they are building. A ripple of unease spread. The holographic record of Earth glowed above the table. Once blue oceans, scarred continents, massive orbital structures half-finished like skeletal rings. No one had received transmissions from that system in generations. The ban prohibiting travel, trade, or surveillance near Sol remained untouched, a relic from the time humanity had first appeared and terrified half the galaxy with their reckless determination. But curiosity had a way of corroding fear. From the outer rim, a group of ambitious young species began whispering among themselves. The Kelth, the Oryx, the Varan, they dismissed the Council's old warnings. They wanted resources, not old ghost stories. Earth's system was rich, its planets unclaimed, its defenses, presumably, rotted with age. When the Council refused permission to explore Sol, they went anyway. They called it a scouting mission. 12 fleets entered the Forbidden Zone, and then silence. Weeks passed. Then months. No distress calls. No survivors. No signals. Until one day a single transmission pierced the void, encrypted in human language, tagged with an ancient Directorate seal. The signal was short, less than 3 seconds long, but it was enough. The message played inside the Council chamber. It contained only one line: "You should have listened." And then a faint image of stars vanishing behind something vast and moving. The chamber fell silent. For the first time in centuries, the Council reactivated the Defense Oversight Assembly. Scouts were sent. Warships were mobilized. But it was already too late. The events that followed became known as the Reckoning of Sol. The Kelth flagship Ravager of Dawn drifted near Pluto's orbit, its instruments sweeping the ancient human system. Its commander, Varric, looked at the planet through his viewport. The Earth hung distant, scarred, and dark. Primitive, he scoffed. They extinguished themselves. His science officer frowned. No radio chatter. No thermal emissions. But there's movement, objects in synchronous orbit, metallic, thousands of them. Satellites, Varric said dismissively. Ruins, perhaps, but the readings show power signatures. Controlled trajectories. Before Varric could respond, the ship's proximity alarms blared. From the dark side of Pluto, shapes emerged. Massive, angular, utterly silent. Their hulls reflected no light. Their drives produced no detectable emissions. They moved with precision. Then the Ravager of Dawn vanished. No explosion. No energy signature, just gone. Across the system, similar reports crackled through the invasion fleets. Ships disappearing mid-communication. Sensors blinded by unknown interference. Fleets of thousands reduced to hundreds in moments. The Kelth commanders regrouped near Neptune, forming defensive formations. That was when they saw it. A ship, human in design, descended from the void above them. It was unlike anything their sensors had ever recorded. It was colossal, dwarfing the largest alien dreadnought. Its hull shimmered black like obsidian, absorbing light. The name engraved along its flank was simple and brutal: TDS Retribution. Its appearance alone froze every fleet in place. Then it spoke. A voice transmitted across all channels. Calm, human, unmistakably articulate. "This is Admiral Holt of the Terran Directorate. You have entered restricted space. Identify yourselves." Varek answered, trembling despite himself. "We are the Kelth Dominion. We come to—" The human interrupted. "You ignored the Council's warnings." Before Varek could respond, the signal cut off and the retribution fired. The beam was invisible. No flash, no thunder. Yet the entire Kelth armada evaporated in silence. Their molecular structures destabilized and scattered into glowing dust. The remaining fleets broke formation, fleeing toward interstellar space. But one by one they were caught by unseen weapons, their ships imploding as if crushed by the weight of gravity itself. In less than an hour, 12 armadas ceased to exist. News reached the Galaxy Council through encrypted channels. Panic spread like wildfire. Every species capable of faster-than-light travel scrambled to decipher what had happened. Some refused to believe the reports. Others demanded immediate retaliation. Counselor Tarin watched the recorded footage from one of the doomed fleets. The image froze on the silhouette of the human warship. "That vessel defies our understanding of physics," he said quietly. Counselor Reen replied, "That is because they built beyond understanding." She brought up additional footage, intercepted from deep space. Observation buoys near the Sol border, massive constructs, were being built around the sun, rings of metal absorbing solar energy, networks of orbital platforms bristling with weaponry, and fleets numbering in the thousands assembling near the asteroid belt. Humanity had not died. Humanity had been preparing. Centuries earlier, after the Council's ban, humanity had turned inward. Cut off from the galaxy, they united under necessity. Wars ended not from peace treaties but from exhaustion. The Directorate rose not as a government but as a covenant, an agreement that Earth would never again kneel to anyone beyond their world. They stopped sending messages. They stopped listening. Instead, they began building. First, they mined their moon until it was hollowed into a shipyard. Then they dismantled Mercury to forge the first Dyson engines. Mars became an industrial core, while Venus was cooled and terraformed by mechanical suns. Every advance they made was born from defiance. When they learned of the Council's surveillance probes, they dismantled them and sent back false signals, decoys showing ruin and decay. Humanity had hidden in plain sight, waiting for the day someone would be foolish enough to return. Now that day had come. The Council's emergency assembly convened again. For the first time in history, the ancient symbol of the Galactic Accord flickered with uncertainty. "We must open communication," Tarin urged. "This must not escalate." Reen shook her head. "They already consider it escalation. The fleets violated their sovereignty. They will retaliate. How can one species challenge the combined strength of the galaxy?" The Thalran delegate hissed. Reen looked up. "Because they are human." The chamber's silence deepened. "They don't measure wars in numbers," she continued. "They measure them in survival. When cornered, they adapt. When beaten, they rebuild stronger. They learned warfare on their own planet long before space travel. They will not seek negotiation. They will seek deterrence through dominance." Days later, the first sign of retaliation came. The frontier colony of Vrax Theta, a bustling trade world, lost all power simultaneously. Its atmosphere rippled as if reality itself had shuddered. When scanners reactivated, the colony was gone, replaced by a smooth, glassy crater stretching for hundreds of kilometers. An encrypted message appeared across every known network. "Return what you took. Leave our system, or we will come to yours." The Council panicked. Fleets were scrambled, alliances reforged. Propaganda declared humanity a rogue faction bent on annihilation. But the truth was simpler. Humanity was reclaiming its dignity. Within weeks, human vessels appeared across the borders of multiple star systems. They didn't attack civilian targets. They didn't broadcast demands. They simply dismantled orbital defenses, disabled fleets, and left messages carved into planetary crusts, single lines written in perfect precision. "Do not test us again." The galaxy watched in silence as centuries of superiority dissolved. The proud Kelth Dominion collapsed within days. The Varane Confederacy surrendered unconditionally. The Oryx colonies, once expansionist, signed treaties promising eternal non-interference. None of it stopped the inevitable, because humanity wasn't conquering. They were demonstrating. In the shadow of the Andari Nebula, the Council gathered for one last summit. Reports confirmed human ships now patrolling near multiple trade routes. They didn't engage unless provoked. But any attempt at reconnaissance ended in the same result: complete disappearance. "They're everywhere," said Tarin. How did they spread so fast? Reen answered softly. They were never slow. They learned to bend distance. Indeed, human technology had surpassed conventional propulsion. They no longer traveled through space, they folded it. Their ships emerged without detectable warp signatures instantaneously, as if walking from one room to another. No one could predict where they would appear next. Then came the moment that changed everything. The Retribution itself arrived in orbit above the Council's station. It did not fire. It did not transmit threats.